But if we click on something other than the current revision, one of the titles, we'll actually see that we have some different choices. We can compare revisions, and we'll look at that just briefly here. It's comparing these two, the third example revision, the fifth example revision, and normally there would be some red things if there's anything that's changed, but you can see here it says no visible changes, and that's because we didn't make any changes. But basically you would see in red the things that had changed if you had made changes. There's another way that you can compare revisions, and that is to simply check the two revisions that you want to compare and then click show difference. So you don't actually have to click on the title to do that. The other options underneath the title are to edit that revision, to revert to that revision, or delete that revision. Now, any one of these can also be accessed directly from the revisions list. I'm going to actually go back. Okay. So we also have the choice to delete and revert here. Now basically what happens when you revert, let's say you created a revision and then maybe the changes that you made kind of scrambled something got messed up, and you can't figure out how to fix it. Rather than trying to fix it and making a new revision, you can actually just go back to one of your backups, as it were. And you do that just by clicking on revert. This is a good one. Third revision is good. So you click on revert, and it'll ask you to confirm that. And then you'll see what happens, that the third example revision still isn't the current one, but what actually happened was it made a copy. You can see by the date and time here, 2230. It made a copy of the revision and made it the current revision. Now, because the fifth example revision, we're pretending that it got messed up some way, you'll want to get that out of there, so you can delete it by clicking here. So this is how you can clean up your list. You just want to be careful that you're absolutely certain that anything that you delete you won't need to go back to. So it's usually good to keep a list, and that's another reason why it's good to include a log message that's descriptive of the changes that you made. Like here I said I added a new screenshot. Here I tested the appearance of the screenshot. Here I tested links. I fixed a link and retested. I proofread an article. I made corrections, and so on. You can, as you're developing an article or as you're making changes to a current article, you can put log messages in there to let you know what state that article was, and it'll help you if you ever need to go back. The last thing I want to point out is there is a time when the revisions module doesn't necessarily work as expected. And this has been a source of confusion for a number of us, including myself. But that is when you've created a brand new article and it's never been saved before, which means there's no revision entries at all in existence in the revision module. No matter what you click here, whether you click new revisions in moderation or not, the new revision on a brand new article will not go into moderation. It will get published immediately, as if this checkbox isn't even checked on a brand new article the first time it's saved. So if for some reason you've created a brand new article and you want to save it, but you're not ready for it to be published, then the only thing that you can do to prevent that from being published is to put it in the moderation queue and then click save. and then you'll get this message here that this post has been submitted for moderation and won't be listed publicly until it has been approved. And I've showed before in a previous tutorial how to create workspaces, how you can go into the moderation area, but I'll show you once again. You can just type the URL in up here if you know it. If you don't know it, you can come down to Category Editors page and click there, and then scroll all the way to the bottom to the area that says Reports, and click on Contributed Articles Needing Moderation. And this list takes just a moment. And then here's my workspace that I was just working on. You can see that it was put in moderation there, in the moderation queue. And then we can approve it. We don't want to delete it. We can approve it. So we click on Approve, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and click Save. And then it's been approved. Now if we go back to our workspace, whoops, I got lost in that list there. I actually have a moderation entry now next to our revisions entry, and it just tells us that something was approved. If we click on revisions, then we'll see that that entry that I made was published and became the current revision. I should have put a log entry. But that's the way you can prevent something that you, on a brand new article, from being published. It's the only real way that you can do it at this point in time. Okay, that concludes this tutorial on using the revisions module.